So I'm going to share on the things one needs to know before becoming an au pair, matters like the requirement, and especially if you're coming from a developing country whereby the visa process is unavoidable. I'm going to share on the things that you actually really need to have or know. So number one, of course, is the visa. When it matters visa, here I'm talking about the passport. You need to have a valid passport. In some cases, you would need an agency. For example, if you want to become an au pair in a country like Netherlands, and most of all, you would need a website where you're going to interact with the host families to get to know each other before moving abroad. So you're going to need to register yourself with different websites or where you can find host families. I'm going to link some links down below, and also you're going to need of course, the visa requirements. The visa requirements like a birth certificate, that depends from country to country. There's so many things that come along with the visa process that I'm going to list later on a different video or in the same video, depending on the time. And then and number two, you need the things you need to pack. So depending on the country you are going, you need to pack the correct stuff. Get yourself informed. Don't be lured by someone who's been already there, who knows how things go by and will tell you don't carry this, don't carry that. Just carry, of course it's good to ask, but carry the appropriate clothing. So for example, if you're coming from a place like Asia, if you're coming from a place like Africa where it's a bit warmer, and you're going to like Europe or America, please remember to carry also your winter clothes. Don't leave your remember to buy winter clothes. Of course you can buy abroad, but remember that because of the exchange rate, they might be costlier than you expect. So carry your summer clothes as well as your winter clothes. If you have an umbrella, like anything that you'd need, get yourself informed as well how the weather is like there. Usually the temperatures are slightly lower, not slightly, they're way lower than where you could be, and that means you would need a very warm cloth by yourself. And when you think that you're going to buy it in that country, if you have enough money, it's good, which in most cases it's not. So that means you're going to buy things that are costlier than where you're coming from. So it's better to just bring along everything that you could carry or are allowed by the airline. Another thing you need to get yourself informed is, of course, the homesickness. There will be homesickness throughout your au pair period, depending on the kind of an individual person you are. So remember, you're leaving your country, you're going to a different country where you know a few people or maybe know nobody, and you're expected to live with a different family. It could be possible that you match quite well, you link up super and everything flows well. But there are always moments that come, like for example in the evening or your free time, or when it's cold, where you're alone and you start to think about the things you've left behind, how it could be, and you start to ask yourself, why me, why, you know. So these are things you need to get yourself informed before. You need, of course, to keep contact with your family. Remember to have those people that you can always talk to whenever you feel low, and whenever you move abroad as well, remember to network properly. Remember to form you can have like 2-3 friends at least, but remember to have a network, because you're going to a place where it's not home, it's not like you know everybody, and also it could be like it's a place where you don't speak the language. So it's important to get yourself informed. Actually, if you're clever enough, you could actually go even like on places like Facebook. Now with the internet, everything is possible. Try to find the groups in those countries where au pair tend to have gatherings. So for example, if you're going to Germany, if you're going to Netherlands, they always have au pair groups where you can always join, and then you will realize they share most of the information there. For example, places to meet, what to expect, like you get yourself informed before you arrive or before you leave your country. Another thing you need to know is what is it called, the routine of the host family. So usually when you're conversing with the host family, this is where you could share information on your interests, their interests, like you know these are the things you get to speak about before you arrive. So if you haven't gotten a family yet and you're aspiring to become an au pair, remember during those interviews, please remember to show your interest in the family. Try to ask questions. Because you're going there because mostly of the kids, not other things come just on top, but it's mostly for the kids. Remember to show your interest on the kids. Ask how the kids are, what the kids like how the country is. Just don't show how much you're going to be exploring. Of course, that's part and parcel, but remember what is taking you there is to explore the culture. So show some interest with the host family during the interviews. As well, remember to ask about the routine, because there are some things you might think they work as you know them, but actually it's different. Remember to ask, how are you going to work? How is everything regulated in the country? What is your expectation? What is your fear? So that these things are communicated before you move abroad, because it can be very disappointing whenever you realize that things are not the way you expected, and that's where homesickness has to come in. Exactly. And like I mentioned before, if at all you need an agency to come abroad, remember to get reliable agencies. This is especially from the people who come from developing countries. You find that so many people, crooks, who tend to use this opportunity to lure people that they're going to bring them abroad. It can be easy, but sometimes it can be a very disappointing moment for you, whereby you get to be exploited. So remember to use appropriate agency. I'm going to link some agencies that I know that you can always use. You can always book yourself with, also the links, because it is so disappointing that you want to do something that you enjoy, that you explore, and then someone comes and explores the little money that you have. So make yourself informed. Make yourself also informed by the people that are recruiting. There are so many crooks also as well in those websites. Someone will just be, you find like someone comes and say they are a single father, they are looking for an au pair, and actually they're using that opportunity as a dating site, whereby they will start to use the opportunity because you're young, naive, or I don't know, yeah. So make yourself please informed, and especially if you're going also for single parent, like on families which only have one parent, make sure you get your things right and get informed. And on the same note, if at all the host family has another current au pair, always try to get the contact of the current au pair if they allow you to, so that you can also get yourself informed. You could ask questions because it's more closer from someone who's working for them than maybe asking them directly. Yeah. Another thing is the language, of course. So usually, like you all know, is that au pair is more of the exchange. So if you come from a country which maybe like speaks French, speaks Chinese, or speak a different language, or English as a second language, or a third language, you're supposed to go to a different country which speaks something that you don't speak, or if at all they do, then it should be as perfect as it's spoken in your country. So get yourself informed on the language. There are many countries which actually don't require the certificate, but there are other countries that require you to have like a minimum basic level of the language. For example, Germany, for example, Austria, Switzerland, and France. Those are countries that you have to know the basic level, so like counting 1 to 10, ABC, and whatnot before you arrive. So that means you'll have to sit for an exam and get the certificate. Of course, you have to pass the exam for you to even be able to proceed with the further process. So get yourself involved in all the requirements that are listed, and especially the websites that I'm going to link down. Usually they tend to explain each and every country what is required. So like on my case, I was in Netherlands. I wasn't required with any language level. So it was just a matter of applying, and yeah, I just informed myself just the basics before I flew, like how to say hello, how to say thank you, so that you make at least some good impressions, you know. But that's not, it's not necessary. It's just something that you could take along. Another thing is, for example, if you already have a host family and you're planning your visit or your fly from your country, so it's always good to just carry something small from to the host family. That also creates like some good impression. You can buy something that you think maybe they might like, or they might show interest, or you know, something just like a small gift. It could be a sculpture, it could be some kind of art, it could be anything that you feel like they might like, or at least feel like you have them in mind, you know. Those are the small nitty-gritty that actually kind of make small things look big, you know. Another thing is the country's culture. So as much as you're looking for a host family, you could be having different interests, maybe a specific country that you want to go and au pair in. So get yourself informed. Like, for example, there are some countries which, for example, we'll speak of Netherlands because that's where I landed first. They have really a biking culture. So like everywhere, everybody knows how to cycle, at least as far as I saw that, because they have a lot of bike lanes, and that means if you're not living in the city, you are likely to be cycling everywhere you're going, like to the center, because it's easier. Some places, if your host family is not living in the city, you'll have to wait for longer hours or long time period for the next bus. And if you have your bicycle, you can easily cycle to the next destination you want to. So if you don't know how to cycle, maybe it's time that you practice before you arrive into the country that you'll be departing to. Yeah, culture is quite important. You can just go online and Google what are some of the culture that you need to be informed. Maybe it could be like a culture that needs you some costume, and you can easily find the costume in your country on a cheaper cost. So you could as well buy it in your country, and when you go there, you're part and parcel, and you get to enjoy it like any other person. As well as how people speak. Of course, these are things you're gonna explore more when you are already in the country. But it's also good to explore like how people get approached. Like there's some things which are actually like are considered an insult or something like that, or like the directness, how people speak. Are they like direct speakers? Do they need filter when they're speaking? Because, you know, for example, something like if I take an example of Netherlands, Dutch people are very direct. Like they will say whatever is in their heart, and it doesn't mean that they're holding it against you. They just speak it and it's over. Or yeah. Whereas if you go to maybe more south, they will prefer to say with something with filter, like, I would have liked if you would have done that, A, B, and C. So remember that as much as you're moving from a different country, it is not the country you are used to, and you should also allow yourself a room that things are not going to appear the way you expect them or the way you've seen them before. And another thing, what did I forget? Oh yeah, another most important thing is what to do with your free time. So you might think, okay, it's not necessary and it's not needed to think too far, but in case you find a family and you're looking forward to join them, it's also important to know what are you going to do with your free time, because you're going to have a lot of free time for sure. And with this free time, because you don't have maybe like a family there, you don't have like maybe friends, you need to do things that make you understand and integrate in their culture. So you need to know what you're going to do with your free time. And depending on what your future lies, for example, if you're planning to study afterwards, if you're planning to do something else, it's important to use this free time to actually develop yourself or make yourself grow. It could be that you've just come from university or high school and you're trying to figure yourself out how life is gonna be afterwards, after you do this au pair period. It's good to know what is your life gonna be. So if you're planning to study, maybe that will be the time you start to visit the universities just to get yourself informed. and that will make your life easier. Or if or if you're someone that was always thinking of starting maybe like some career online or something, that is the time to use that opportunity, because you know you're gonna have free time. And if you don't have anything planned, the time is just gonna go like that. They say that abroad, 1 year, like the 1 year at home abroad is like a few days, and that's true, because time goes so fast. You arrive, there's so many things to do, like matters viewing, there's so many things you want to achieve, and the span of time is quite limited. So if you're not planned well, you will come to regret why you didn't do this, why you didn't do that. So get yourself informed on the things you want to do. And for the most of all is remember why you wanted to be there, or why you want to go and be an au pair. That is the most, I think, well, that sums everything here. Because if you don't know why you want to become an au pair, then you might have a lot of challenge once you become an au pair, because you will always maybe comparing yourself with the things that you left behind, comparing yourself with things that actually shouldn't be compared, you know, like the exchange rate. You'll just find yourself stuck. So you have to know why you want to be an au pair. And that means that, for example, if you want to expound on the language that is spoken in that country, you need to try and speak the language. You need to know the basics, not that you leave your country and go and start there from zero. Start it when you're still in your country, and with that, it means that when you arrive, you are not starting from the base, you're starting from a level a bit higher. Yeah, and also know why you want to become an au pair in the sense that you're gonna be there for the kids and maybe help in A, B, and C. And also, don't get yourself be used. For example, that you go there and you think, okay, I'm just here because I'm a nanny. No, you're not a nanny. You're just there for cultural exchange, and make yourself like informed on your duties, on your routines, and as well as on your rights, because you do have rights. So these are the things that you should actually carry along with you. In case you have questions, you can always tip down below. I will be ready to answer.